Welcome back to another day of living in the new house. It's been a couple of days since we've recorded things and I've got some updates to update you on. First of all, winter is coming. Apparently there could be snow on the way to us here in the UK. Maybe even coming down as far as us where we live, which is going to be a bit of a shock for November. So very glad we got the heating on because it is getting a lot colder along the way. Friday we went and hung out with some mates, so we took the day off. Saturday we just had a rest and recuperation day because I could feel like the energy levels were dropping and we just needed to have a good day of not doing too much. We did go out and do a food shop. We did do a couple of just small bits around the house just to make sure we're ready to go. Did some washing, that kind of stuff. Nothing too exciting, so we didn't record anything. Things to update you on in terms of house though. So first of all, let's talk about some cables. The cables I'm going to talk about in general are the ones for the shower and the bath. So we have, in the current situation, the dial which turns the bath on and off just sort of hanging inside of here. And we need to get those dials for both that one for the bath and the two dials for the shower system in the wall here. The problem is that the shower came with an extension cable, but the bath did not. So I reached out to the big bathroom shop and said, these cables. Can you get in contact with the supplier and see if I can get hold of them? They've gone through and looked, contacted the supplier and then sent me back the fact that I can get the 2-meter extension cables. However, have a guess how much you think they are. If you're thinking £5, not even close. They want £71 each for that cable. 71, I need 2 of them. I'm not spending £142 on those cables. That's literally half the price of the pump unit itself just for the 2-meter extension cables. So we need to go and find an alternative. Now I have looked online and I found the connectors for those. And they are you can buy I think it's like a pack of 10 or something for like £5 from China, and then you can get them in. So we're tempted to just buy the connectors and just make those cables up ourselves. It wouldn't be the first time I've made up a cable. I've done some bits at work previously, so shouldn't be too much of a chore. And it does mean then that we can make the extension cables the exact length we need to make them, so we need to get organised with that as well. Secondary update then, so I've just got off a call with Alex. Just talking that's the plumber for people who don't know, talking about what the next course of action is. So we have one extra job that I want to do just to sort of prep things. So for anybody that doesn't know, the boiler is currently downstairs in the kitchen. At some point in the future, we may want to free up that space in the kitchen by moving the boiler into the loft. To make sure that we're prepped and ready to go for that, what would happen is if we completed everything how it was now and then decide to do that, say in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years time, whatever it is, we would then have to run a gas pipe up the external side of the house. And for anybody that's been following along would know I've been on an absolute vendetta of removing as much pipe work and cabling that's dangling from outside the house because it just looks rubbish. So what we're going to do is you can get a gas pipe kit which is safe to go inside a building. It's certified and everything. And we're actually going to run it up this spare hole. Now this hole was originally for the safety overflow for the hot water system, the boiler, the tank and the loft. We were going to have a safety drop down there, but in reality we realised that we can just stick it straight down the soil stack. Now that's running in the corner there anyway, so we're actually going to repurpose that hole. I'm going to get one of the gas pipe kits and we're going to run it up the corner there, and that just means that we're not going to be using it straight away, but it's prepped and future-proofed, ready to go, so we don't have any stupid pipes around the outside of the house. So I think it's well worth spending the 120 odd quid or whatever it is for the kit, so that's ready to go. So that brings us up to date with most of the future stuff we're going to be getting on with. So let's talk about today. So I am in the front bedroom, which we have plastered, and it is good. It's been drying pretty well. There's been no crackage, which is the most major and important thing out of this. But there is a couple of things we need to do and improve. So the wall where the radiator goes is actually really quite good. I'm quite impressed with the plastering there. Above there's not too bad. This wall here's got a few nicks in around the socket and a couple of rough patches here and there, but I think we'll get away with it. This wall, the last one I did, and it was fresh boards, is actually really good. I'm really happy with that wall. So the only 2 bits we need to address is 1, the waviness in the ceiling. We're probably going to have to sand that down. And 2, hello. And 2 is this back wall here. Now if you actually take a look at this back wall, we've got nicks and marks here and cracks there and bubbles and waves and everything else. It's just not good enough, unfortunately. And I think I'm kind of at the stage now where it's going to be quicker to actually re-skim that wall at some point in the future. Now I'm not going to do that today. But it's going to go on the job list, and I am just going to reskim that wall. What we also need to look at as well, and we've been chatting with a few people who are looking online, is where this plaster had got all the mould growing in it underneath this window here. We're going to have to treat this beam with some kind of rust treatment just to make sure it doesn't get any worse. And then I've looked online, the best method to do is actually just do the dot and dabs to get a piece of plasterboard and put it under there. Now I have got some spare of that moisture panel, so we might put that on as well just to help with the whole situation. So we are going to have to look at doing that at some point. Again, not a today job because I need to go to the shops. I need to get some more stuff to be able to do that. Go and visit my friends at Wicks and I haven't seen them for ages. So those are the two other major jobs we need to start looking at in terms of getting this room finished, but they are not for today. So what is the plan of action today? Plan of action today is we're going to at least have a clean up in here and gut in here and just get all the sheets up and everything. We're going to gut this front bedroom here, so that we've got all of the stuff cleaned out of the way and we clean up this space ready to plaster this room next. Probably drop all the curtains, the barriers, everything else, go through, do any more filling and gaps and things that we may need to have a look at along the way in here. And then I think we're going to have a quick look see in this bathroom as well and just again clean up the space, look at what we're doing, see what we can do to scrape this off, put plasterboard on this part of the ceiling, this part of the ceiling here, this part of the hall as well. So fair bit to do. We'll see how much we get through because it is a little bit later in the afternoon, but we've had enough of a rest now. It's time to go back into battle station. So when we start on something, you'll see us in a time-lapse mode. Is the front room floor cleaned up a bit. So it's not perfect, we haven't vacuumed or anything. Obviously, no, we've still got a bit of messing around to do with replastering, reskimming this wall as we discussed earlier, and doing the window ledge. What I've also done in the briefest submission is, look, no ladder! First time in ages the ladder's not been there. I've decided because it's getting cold I want to try keep a bit more of the heating where possible. So I had a spare piece of plywood which nearly fitted that hole, plus that piece of floorboard there. But yeah, so I've just plugged up the open loft hatch. Now we have got to look at getting the loft hatch in and done with the proper one with the ladder to meet legislation, because now the hot water tanks in the loft has got to have a proper ladder in there. I had a look, I did find nearly the right one. So when we do some shopping a little bit later, either today or for Black Friday, we need to get that purchased as well. But for the time being, we've plugged the hole to stop some of the draft going out. We do now need to go deal with that hole. But before we do that, it's time to start on this room. Getting all of this stuff out and moved. Some of the stuff's going to go into this room now cleared up, particularly against this wall over here where we know we've finished plastering now. The rest of it is then going to be moved and out into the garage as well, which may mean we need to go cut the carpet up in the garage. So we will go get on with that. As always, when working in a small room, it's impossible to record things because it is quite small. But we have now gutted it, moved most of the wood stuff downstairs. Radiators and all the useful bits are now back in here, so you can see the floorboards, the other radiators. The toilet, I'm pretty sure this toilet has been in every single room but the bathroom it's actually supposed to go in now. So, but yeah, it's now doing a tour in that room. I might move to the back room just so it has had the complete tour. But yeah, anyway, now we've got this room empty. We want to get on with just removing the rest of the other junky bits from it. So, as we have just been through action plan 4, gripper rods are going to go, remaining bits of skirting boards are going to go. Now, this box is obviously covering the top of the stairs. Now, if this room is becoming an office, which it is to start with, that's probably going to get built in as part of building a desk across this whole back edge there. Now, looking at it, I think we can condense it a little bit more. My brain's telling me if we don't take this off, we're going to end up plastering it in place against on the wall, which I don't particularly want to do. So either way, it's got to come out. So we're going to take it apart, have a look, see what creepy crawlies are behind there. Yeah, she says she loves spiders. And then, yeah, we'll look at then what the plan is for then actually rebuilding that, whether we're rebuilding into a desk space, or I've seen some quite cool solutions where they actually turn these into like wardrobes effectively. So you build them right the way up so that you wouldn't really notice it's there, and it's part of a built-in wardrobe if we decided at some point this to become a bedroom, because then you can get a single bed in here, they'll just have all the power and all the data in the world behind there that they probably won't need, but hey ho. And yeah, there's an opportunity to then build a wardrobe in there if we absolutely wanted to. So we should now have enough room to actually get some filming back on in here, though this is the only room without a light in it. So we're going to get stripping this place apart and see where we get to. One basically gutted room. We've gone through, removed all the curtains. We've gone through, I've been under the floorboards and removed some extra stretches of cable which were dead from the old stuff that's gone down. There is this run running up the wall here which we're going to have to chase out. Now I have absolutely no idea what that is for at all. I think maybe it could be for the old light, which we need to remove the old fixing at some point. But that's most of it gone. We are richer because of it. We found 3p underneath the edges of those boards. There's 2 of it. I don't know where the rest of it's gone. But yeah, we found 3p. We've removed all of this now. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to condense that anymore. But looking at the state of that old chipboard that came off there, it wasn't really the best quality stuff. So I'm kind of glad we've removed it because it means it means I can build a much nicer sort of desk unit type thing around that as well. So we've got a bit of work to do there. But yeah, room's not too far off being prepped. So we, as I mentioned, chase that cable out, remove the last of the paper. We have got to work out what to do up here. That one was for the cables for this light switch which we put in. Those ones there were where I accidentally smashed through when I was putting the this wooden battening up there. So there's a bit of patching up to do, but other than that, we're not actually, there's not too much to do in this room, thankfully. I am debating whether we scrape this old like Artexy stuff off the ceiling. I'm sort of thinking we might just be easy to plaster over it because it should grip pretty well onto that. So yeah, it shouldn't really take too long to get this room going. So probably what we'll do tomorrow is finish off the last of the blasting through here, fill in those, and then that gives us a nice clear run in the week to have a go at plastering in here as well. What I have also done is have a bit of a clean up in the hallway and remove all of the junk down here. I've got to put stuff in the garage. I won't show you the mess downstairs. I have measured the piece of plasterboard to go into this hole as well, just to block that up. Hopefully, again, with the aim of making things a little bit less open plan to the ceiling. Measured that up, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to hold that up myself and screw everything in place, so I'm going to need an extra set of hands to do that. So we're probably going to park it there for now in terms of actual work, but I may hop online once I've had a bath and clean myself up and do a bit of shopping for some of the stuff that we need to actually start buying in now in terms of like materials and stuff like that, or at the very least draw up the shopping list of what we want to look for Black Friday. So I may catch you up a little bit later on that one. So it's actually a couple of days later, but I thought I'd consolidate all the last few days of shopping into a clip for this vlog. So time traveling Ryan is back again. Yay! Things I have ordered. We have ordered these vent flaps, which you should have a photo of here. They're designed to go between the felt and the loft. So one of the things that came back on the survey for this property was the fact there wasn't enough ventilation in the loft. So these are a good way of actually getting vents in between the felt. So underneath the tiles you get a good flow of air. So we've bought those. We've also bought this gas pipe here, editing Ryan, sorry about this mate. The idea of that is it's not for anything current, but where we're putting the boxing up the side of the kitchen and in the toilet area, we're going to run a gas pipe up ready into the loft. So if we ever decide to move the boiler up into the loft to free up some space in the kitchen, then that's ready and in place, ready to go. We haven't got to rip any boxing apart or anything else like that. So it's kind of like a sensible, just preventive things. That is like 170 quid of preventative jobs, I guess, or a not immediate payback, but hopefully that proves valuable if we decide to ever do that in the future. Or if we end up going for a heat pump, then it might end up being a waste, but I think it's worth doing for the time being.
We also then ordered some protein bars and Italian hot chocolate because we're running out of hot chocolate. Neither of those to do with the house, but they're nice to have, so we've ordered those as well. Um, we were then looking at the doors and stuff like that. We're not quite at the stage where we need to have doors in the house yet, but I did want to start specking up what that's going to cost us so we can start looking at things, see if there's any Black Friday deals, etc., etc., etc. So we found this place called UK Oak Doors, and actually is a place not there. Well, the showroom's actually not far from where we live, so we might head over there over this weekend to go have a look at them, some of them. These are the kind of doors we're looking at. Again, editing rhyme. Sorry, there's a photo there. We're also looking at oak door frames, oak architrave, oak skirting boards, and everything all just to fit in with it. Now, I've built those door frames upstairs to have 20 mil door linings in them, which is the solid oak ones. They do a veneer one, but that's 30 mil, so I'm not going to be able to fit those through. So I've kind of cornered myself into doing solid oak door frames, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. We won't be doing solid oak doors. We will get the veneer doors, otherwise they get horrendously expensive. But even still, just with the door frames, the architrave for both sides of the doors and the doors themselves, doesn't include hinges or door handles. It's £2,600. That's quite expensive, but I think it's going to look really nice in the house. So we haven't ordered that yet. We will go to the showroom over the course probably of this weekend and go have a look physically at the doors and see if we can maybe sweet talk somebody to give us a bit of a discount. As a salesperson. We'll see how we get on with that as well. The other thing I've then been looking at is loft ladders. So, for those of you that may not have seen some of the previous vlogs, because the hot water tank and all the pipework and electronics are in the loft, apparently for reg reasons, I've got to have a loft ladder in there. Now, I was looking at this telescopic one here, but after a discussion I've just had with Alex, it's got to have a handrail, which is kind of unfortunate because the handrail ones generally come on like a 2 or 3 part folding ladder, which is really going to struggle to fit that on the space on the landing. So I haven't actually ordered one of those yet. We've got to do a bit more measuring and fettling and see what's the best course of action to try and squeeze that into the space we have upstairs. So none of that's ordered, but we have got a good chunk of shopping done, and there's still plenty more shopping to go because we've got to order a dishwasher, the oven, range oven. We've got to do paint, we've got to do skirting boards and all that kind of stuff yet as well. So we're keeping an eye out for deals over the course of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend just to see what we get going out there, and I will update you if we get any more purchases. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this vlog from 2 days ago, but for you won't have noticed a difference, hopefully, apart from the outfit change and the hair getting worse because I need a haircut. I have ordered a haircut, that's tomorrow. Today. This time dilation thing is confusing me anyway. But thank you very much for watching. Happy hunting, and we will see you all in tomorrow's vlog.